Hello everyone, my name is Barbara. I'm a Polish girl who lives in Ireland and likes to knit, and today I have episode 69 for you. And this video is not a tutorial, it's not a finished object, it's not a vlog, although you can find videos like that on this channel, so check it out if you're interested. Today's a different one. Not only I'll be showing you my finished objects, which I don't have any, but what I'm working on, and I'm not able to show you everything, but I'll try to put all the timestamps down below, so if you're interested, check it out what's up there, and if you think that something is missing and you would benefit from it to be there, let me know. Yeah, so you can find me on social media as knittingILove everywhere, and thank you so much for chit-chatting and spending some time with me. I really appreciate that because I know everyone has a busy schedule, so I hope now you have a few moments to do something for yourself and enjoy a bit. Okay, so what else you may not know about me quickly is that I'm a knitter. I would love to do at least one crochet project this year, definitely. I'm watching a few crochet projects. I'm sorry about that. I'm learning crochet projects. But then I'm a knitter, so they're crocheters. So I'm following crocheters. Hopefully I'm saying that right. And I'm kind of tempted. I know how to crochet, and I'm doing something like in February, which is called, I think how you say it's February challenge. If you don't know what that is, check it out the screen. So basically every day you post something related to the topic, and I'll try to see if I can manage to do it. I'll do that on Instagram, so check it out. And I think something it's quite fun, involves everyone, and you can meet more people. When you click on that hashtag, you could see more happy faces, and I'm encourage you to check it out, because that way you can even meet more people. Then I design things, so if you're interested, check the screen now. Maybe I'll show you a few bits that I have. I try to put the link down below to my designs, and I divide them to free patterns and paid for patterns. If you want to support me, feel free to do so. If you want to make my heart sing, just knit any of my patterns, I'll be happy. Just tag me. And the last thing, and I will keep it till the last, is my little online shop when I sell my product. So if you're interested to check that out, stay till the end, or skip it and go straight away. Because of that, I have new things that are now in the shop, so I hope you're going to enjoy them too. Okay, let's start what I'm wearing. As you can see, I'm wearing a sweater, but this is not a hand knit sweater. It is quite a good quality sweater. It is designed in Germany, and it's 92% cashmere and 8% elastin. So here it is, as you can see. And I'm not showing you that to kind of bribe you, I know the word. I'm not showing you for you like, oh my, she's wearing a cashmere sweater. But I'm showing you because it's an amazing story why I'm wearing it. When we go back to my past in regards knitting, in regards supplies, it wasn't the most accessible thing for me. And as a young kid, I knew that knitting, it's yarn. I didn't know that yarn is something different than wool or an acrylic or any cotton and stuff like that. For me, yarn was one thing only that I could see in the shop, and that was acrylic. But even though when I was a young kid, I did not have money for even that. It was approximately in euros, let's say, yeah, €2. But when I was a kid, I now live in Ireland, but I live in Poland. You have to multiply it by 4 to get the price. So it was approximately 8 złotych. So yeah, it's felt like €8 or $8, not 2, 8. So everything like that, I think that's why it wasn't available in the shops, because average person would not have a budget to get it. But anyway, something exists like secondhand. I'm not sure how you call it, secondhand shops, when I was a kid, and I found it out when I was maybe 10, 11-year-old, and I was going there to buy clothes, and I found out that not only you can get trousers or t-shirts and so on, but also sweaters. But unfortunately that time sweaters would be like in the you know, I was born in the 80s, so, you know, we're talking about 90s when I went to the second-hand shops. But we're talking about the clothes that were worn in the 70s or 80s. So if you know the fashion during that time, so we're talking about color work, we're talking about oversized sweaters, huge sweaters. You don't need 1 kg, you need like 2 kg of fabric, so I mean yarn. And most of them would be acrylic. And the second-hand shop would be a shop that you can get second-hand things, and they will be all over the country, I think most, during that time. So I was finding sweaters, and then when I learned how to knit, I would start with crochet actually, and today is the 3rd of February, and today's for the February challenge is to my first project was. And my first project was, I'm going to show you in a sec. I'm going to get it because I still have it, I still wear it. And there's the 2 things that I think were my first, not counting, you know, this scarf probably that everyone has to do at school, which you probably haven't even finished. So we're talking about a finished object. Yeah, but anyway, at that point, I may not have even a budget for anything like that. So what I was doing, I was finding out those sweaters, which I think the prices during that time was between 2 to 5. Huge sweater for like 1 or 2 euro. However, I had to learn how to recognize, because you know, you learn on your mistakes. I got a sweater that I really like, oh mom, it's a really beautiful color, you see this, can we just frog it and make something, you know, more fashionable now? And my mom, you know what, it's a machine, if you frog it you have small pieces only, and that's that. And I was like, no, so how do you know when it's, you know, machine and when it's like the hand knit? So she flipped it over and she showed me the seaming. And this thing, she told me that if you can spread it out, you could see what way it was done. Which in this case, I would say it was, the machine was knitting it. And so anyway, what I'm going to say, I think now with my knowledge that I have, I think there's 2 types of machines. Machines that do a shaping of the garment, or some machines that they just do a big kind of fabric, knitted fabric, and they cut it through. And when I was getting those sweaters, I would notice that here they would be just ends, and if you start frogging them, you literally have the piece, that's all. So you couldn't knit with it. So what I was doing, I was just, and normally people would knit flat, right, not in the round. So I would just separate it a little bit, and if I saw that ladder going through, I knew that when I come back home I can go through scissors and just cut that thing, and then hopefully I won't break anything else. Happened, and I was able to frog it. And then I was making them to big balls, and then no balls, I was doing it on the chair, and then we were washing it and then drying it, and they were still kind of bumpy and stuff like that, but we were able to reuse it. And the only thing that even though I was doing that, I wasn't aware of, maybe I was aware of cotton, maybe my mom said that to me, but I wasn't paying attention to it so much. But maybe kind of now it clicked to me, there are different fabrics of a content of a fabric that we have in the shops for the last maybe 8 years that I'm kind of aware of, let's say, that I'm paying attention to it more, let's say. So I went, I think last or 2 years ago, to a second-hand shop, because I still love it. It kind of brings my childhood and memories and everything like that. But these days, the second-hand look completely different. You have clothes from all over the world, and I know that because I live in Ireland and I can see stuff over here in the shops that you can get in Poland. And I go to Poland to second-hand shop and I see, well, I saw that in Limerick. So you could see that. So for instance, I go straight away to a sweater section and I'm browsing through the sweaters. Obviously 90 or 95% of them, they're acrylic or they're stretched out or something that's broken, and if you're not a knitter you won't be able to fix it, and so on and so on. But I was so lucky to find this treasure. So it's literally a treasure, and I know it's the most valuable fiber you can get there, but I use it for a daily basis. I paid for it 11. So in Poland we don't have euro, so you divide it by 4. So let's say round up to 12 złotych, which will give you €3. So I got a cashmere sweater for €3. That's my story. Random things about me. I know some people were saying to me that I shouldn't be saying stuff because it's like sad, or you know, and so on and so on. But I don't, it's my life and I don't feel like it. I think it was a lesson. I was able to learn things. Even though I didn't have stuff, I was able to create or try to find solution how I can remake stuff for my own purposes, or to make it my own, or to make it that I feel it's like new because no one else has it, or no one else have it. No one else has or have. Help me out. I know you're helping me now, so that's very good. So anyway, this is my story, and I know that it's not so common to have a second shop in some areas, so some people may not have that privilege to go and browse it through and even experience the fashion during the other days. I really like that. I always dreamt that maybe when I was a teenager we'd do some kind of a party theme 70s, because you know, for literally €2-3 you could get clothes that they were worn that year and you could just have a crazy thing. Never happened though. Maybe we can do it. But anyway, that's a random thing, and maybe give me a sec. I'll bring the stuff that I will need to take a photo anyway at some point, which is my first project. My first project was, so give me a sec. I'm going to bring those two things because I'm not sure which one I did first. I presume which one I did first, but it was so quick and stuff, and I still can fit into both of them, so that's very important. And yeah, so anyway, so excited. So sorry if I'm talking too fast. I know some people say that, but just to let you know, you can always speed things up or slow things down. Just move the mouse over here, you see kind of a knot, and just press and you can slow things or speed things up. I normally speed things up. And okie dokie. So I think, I'm not sure if it's the first thing, but I did this. And I still have it and I still wear it. So this is, to make something like this, you need a hook, yarn, and a technique over here is crochet chain, I think. So here it is, check it out, you can see it from the inside. Obviously I wear a t-shirt underneath it, or like if you're on the beach you can just kind of make it even longer and have something that you feel more comfortable walking around, I would say. But it's not so warm over here, but if you live in a warmer climate, I would say go for it. So what did I do? Okay, so when I started, I just asked my mom, how do you do a chain? So she showed me and I was like, whoa, that's simple. Okay, so what do you do next if you have certain length? And she said, well, you turn around, you put the hook through the gaps and you just pull the yarn through. And you pull the yarn through that loop that you have on your hook, and you just continue that. And I was, okay, I went to my room, I still remember that, and I just turned around and I did this. And I think I did this for, so that's like, I'm sorry, is that a single crochet or crochet? Said it right, very good. Or a double crochet, I'm not sure. I'm going to bring it over to you, maybe you will know. So I actually was designing a pattern. Okay, so I'm closer so you can see it. So when I came back, I figured out that I know how to count those V's. They're quite similar in knitting. So I counted how many I made because I actually noticed that literally that was just an, an accident, that the length of the chain was as long as my body. And I figure out I will be doing that and the thing that I learned, so you know, the chain, every certain number. And on the way back, I was just putting the hook not inside the stitch, but it's just, it is grabbed in the loop because you can move it. You see it? I can move the stitch now here. So the very simple, I was just seeing a loop, a hole, and I was just poking it and creating it. And because I was just going up, I did two equal, I think they're equal, rectangles. And what I did then, I just sewn them here and here and on the sides. I think now, knowing that you can do it in a round, I would save time and would not have to do this because it was quite hard to make it nice over here. So this is the right side and here's the wrong side. But as you can see, it's not that bad. I'm not sure what I used to connect it, but I was very aware that you know, I wanted to have it as neat as I could. What age was I? Ooh, I don't know, maybe I was 14, 13, but I can still fit into it. Okay, just bear in mind I'm putting on top of a sweater. It looks way better if it's a t-shirt. Or I thought that would be really cool if you have, I didn't have those times, but I was dreaming about to have a white kind of, you know, I work in the office with a collar, not with collar, what do you call it? You know, with the buttons and like office shirt, I think, not the t-shirt, shirt, and we'll just come out, so we'll cover that area, and the sleeves will be a little bit not close to my body, they'll be like a little bit puffy, so you know, all the way through, and they will just cover these things too, and I will look like, you know, smart. So here it is. I would say this was my first project that I've done by myself, and I finished it. And I remember to get this, my mom had yarn in small cubicle, maybe the size like those two, and you were able to open it and you could see them in like plastic bags. So I knew my mom loved it to knit, and I just grabbed something that it was small, you know, that's why it's such a not bright color. Probably I would go with a brighter color. When you were a kid, you would go with pinks and stuff, but I thought, maybe I'll take something when my mom was not going to use it. And I remember when I finished, she was so proud of me. So I'm so happy I still remember that, Mum. And when she was like, oh, that's pity, you could pick up better wool or yarn to do it. Because it's not a wool, it's acrylic, I presume. But you can see, kind of nice, and you know, it's kind of stretched in certain area. And that way, if you're not so blessed in this area, it may feel or may see that it's bigger. So yeah, so I really like that, and I wore it like, you know, you have special school days and stuff, and I really liked it. So simple. Maybe I should write down a pattern, let me know. I designed it when I was 14, now I'm 35. Well, I was waiting a bit, but okay, and then I knew how to crochet and I wanted to go slightly more advanced. But basically means that I want to have a new project, but the tools I had, I didn't have them so much. I didn't have that many options to pick. So what I found something that my mom didn't use, because that time she was so into knitting, but not so much into crocheting, and especially crocheting these beautiful things. You see this? My mom does this now. She's so talented. She did that with my leftovers. I actually did a shawl. Maybe on the screen you could see it. So on the screen you can see the shawl that I did with it. I used two colors. I think it's some drops yarn. So check it out. So beautiful. So nice. The other project, so I found something, you've told me once what it is, but it's a crochet, and it's especially for things like that. But I did a garment with it because there was so much yardage, but it did not occur to me that because it's so thin, it will take for so long. So the next thing I did is quite similar idea, 2 rectangles. I think one slightly wider than the back one, because I figure out it would be longer, and I even connect it, I will get that nice drape over here without doing any shaping and stuff, because that was completely mine. And I did this. So check the screen now. If you crocheter, you could imagine how tiny is my finger. How tiny this thing is. It took me, I think, 3 months to do it. But it looks amazing. I still can fit into it. It has a drape, heavy drape, and I always thought like I'm a warrior, like a female version of it, because it looks like a part of a shield, you know what I mean. And as you can see, it folds here. So when I'm wearing it, it kind of gives you that it doesn't choke you. So again, I figured out this when I was 14, and I was quite tall at that age, almost like maybe 4 centimeters, 5 centimeters shorter than I am now. So yeah, I'm 5'10", and in centimeters, so what? Inches, 2.5, so maybe 2 inches shorter. And I was able to fit into it. So these are the 2 projects, and I can still wear them. So that's something new. That's something what happens in February. So I hope I didn't bore you. And even though I like knitting, as this channel says, knitting I love, I crocheted. Then how do you say pass with crochet? No, I know I should be looking it up now. Okay, so let's go and move on to the next section, which normally is what's off my needles, what's off my chest. And in this channel you can see short videos, and that's kind of way I treat this channel. So you'll have a bit of everything. Podcast is more me chit-chatting with you more, and I hope you're going to write down something down below. Anyway, so if we go to my channel and we can see the last time I had episode, so episode 68, you could see that the next video after that is unboxing. So I'm receiving boxes from Knit Crate, and it's kind of small child still inside me that, you know, it's amazing to receive something from someone. I'm getting those boxes for free to show it to you, just to be kind of transparent. But if you compare prices of those boxes to a yarn available, you know, if you're on the low budget, I would say go for it. So for instance, the one that I'm showing you now on the screen is unboxing, and the box one, that's how I'm going to do it this year. I'm not going to tell you which one it is. And once you open it, once you see the video, you'll see what it is. So the first one was, I'm just spoiling now for you if you haven't seen it. I received this beautiful yarn, and this yarn is Vidalana in brown, and in here we have 80% Peruvian highland wool and 20% nylon. It doesn't say superwash, so I presume it's non-shoot superwash. It feels rougher, and some people said to me, oh, it's kind of rougher than other ones because of the blend. And the good thing is you also get a small booklet. I'm not sure, is this one? Yeah, this one is this one, because it contains 3 patterns, and each is in each box for crate yarns. And then you have Artisan Crate, would be different magazine. I didn't get the 3rd one, so I'm just telling you. Normally you could have seen 3, now I'm getting 2, it seems. So you could get 3 patterns, and like I said, once came with that one. And this is so beautiful. I know what I like also about the Knit Crate is that people are getting it too, and they get back to me, for instance, that, oh, you know what, I'm doing this. And I was like, oh, so amazing. So I know that the yarn is also used for the patterns that you've purchased on Ravelry, and like I said, the prices are quite good for, the price is really good for like 1 skein and 3 patterns. I think the sock one is $19 something. And then I did another video which is about knitting goals 2018, and I just said about 5 things, although for instance today I told you that I want to do a bit of crocheting this year, and as you could see, I kind of have a heart to it. The other thing is that when I was a kid I broke my wrist 3 times, and when I'm knitting, my technique of knitting, if you've seen it, involves only movement of my fingers most of the time, not so much my wrist. So I don't get pains when I'm knitting, unless I'm maybe knitting with bigger yarns, and it's more about the sitting position I have, or a chair, because that way I could feel something between my shoulder blades, and sometimes something gets in there, but I know it's just, oh yeah, I sat that way, or yeah, I had to lift instead of drop maybe my shoulders, my elbows on the chair, so I have rest and then just work with the fingers. Unfortunately, I don't know any other technique in regards to crochet that you can just move fingers but not use the whole thing. And in a while you could hear clicking when I'm doing that, so that's a little bit thing that I'm probably not so eager to do it. But I love crochet, and what I got, actually have a set for Tunisian crochet, and if you haven't tried that thing, it's just amazing. But the same thing, I thought it would be kind of nice motion, but it still involves kind of picking. unless I come up something with the left hand. I'm not sure, but I think it's something that buzzes my head, and I may do something about it. We shall see. How much time will I have? So anyway, you have those 5 goals over there. I'm not going to tell you what they are. If you're interested, check it out. It's 23 minutes. I'm bubbling about what I have written down in my brain for 2018. Did I manage to do it? What I did not manage to do it. And then 2019, what I want to do. And, you know, I treat it like pleasure, not pressure. Remember, if you treat knitting as a hobby, think that way. Okay, and then Seb took me for not only me but everyone else, whoever wanted to join us, for a trip for a weekend. And the stories like that, if you go to playlist and you watch my journal playlist, I have something that looks like this. I'm actually using it right now. And what I have over there, in December I was watching Mel Robbins. If you don't know who that person is, she's kind of, I think it's a motivational speaker, let's say it that way, but she kind of turns everything different. And whoever I was listening or like follow, I sometimes like videos like that because they boost your energy and kind of motivate you to do things. She come up with something interesting, so if you're interested, I will put a link down below to check her out. But before that mindset reset thing that she's doing, she did 4 videos before that, and she was explaining things about 5 things in your life that, I think 5. That's why I have a book. Well, that's why I have a journal. That you should focus at least one thing that you would want to do this year, to either stop doing something in that area, start something new in that area, or just continue and develop or get better, or, you know, get an idea. Just one thing. And she's talking about work, body, money, love life, friends, and self-worth. Sorry, 6. And there is a friends, and I started with Sebastian, and we used to, like me 2 years ago, before 2015, when I ended up in the hospital, we were very involved in every month organizing a trip for free for people. We were going hiking, and we kind of stopped because of my health issues. And do we say health issues? Problems? So negative. So anyway, I told him to follow it and do it, but he didn't want to leave me at home because he thought it was something else that we'd do together. And now I feel slightly better. So it took me a while. It's 2019. And that's why also this channel kind of popped in. If you check, I think my first video is 2015. I think check my first. Maybe don't check. I'll check the date. I'll leave it over here. My first podcast video. Maybe that was around that time too. Anyway, so sorry. So yeah, we decided that we're going to organize something, but this time I would not have time to kind of cover it up. So Seb kind of took it, and he created a channel, so you can, on the screen you can see it, which is called Wycieczki Irlandia, which is in Polish. That's easier for him. So he says a few things on the video, not so much at the moment, you know, we were going here and there, so I would say go check it out. I hope he's going to divide it to playlists in regards counties. On my vlogs you can see it too. I actually post it, so that's why I'm talking to you with day 1. But my videos is more about like a vlog, like the things that we went to hostel, we ate there, I was knitting on this, so you could see kind of my work in progress during that time. Okay, maybe go back. So it's more about connecting people. So if you follow his YouTube channel and you follow his Instagram or Facebook, because that's how it goes, if you're around this area and you want to join us, feel free. We can speak English. Yeah, but I think it's easier for Seb. But I know if you have any social media, there's Translate, or you can always reach out to him or to me. And yeah, if you want to go, like we went to Connemara because it's an amazing, beautiful place. And either you can stay and you can join us hiking, or you can just stay knitting. It's like we don't have to stay in the place we are, but somewhere around, and so on and so on. So it's open. If you're around, you want to see us, you want to talk to us, that's fine. Okay, so let's move on. So the next one is another unboxing, and that time I open a Knit Crate membership, which is slightly expensive. I think Sock Crate is $19, this is $24, I think $25, but we get 2 skeins of this. I'm not showing you the second one because I actually cast it on, and I'm going to show you what whips I have because I couldn't resist. Oh, so the same thing the same kind of blend over here we have. It's the thickness is different. So with sock crate you always get the fingering. With this one you never know. It could be fingering, it could be worsted, it could be, what's this? This is worsted. Yeah, this is worsted. Whiskey. And they have really good quality for a low budget thing, you know. Very good, very good, very good. I probably would ask Sebastian to get me a box at least as appreciation to being his wife and dealing with everything every month, and I would pick this. So if there's anyone watching me who is not a knitter, not crocheter, but you would want to kind of spoil someone a bit because something arrives to their home every month and you'll be like, whoa, like a secret admirer, or just, you know, not admire that, you know, you will tell them who you are. This is the way to go, I would say. I love it so much. Obviously, there are other boxes from indie dyers that you can find on Etsy, on Instagram. They're slightly more expensive, and sometimes be aware that if you're living in one country like in Ireland and you get some stuff from America or outside European Union, there are customs fees on the top of shipping that you already paid can apply. At the moment, I haven't paid anything extra for these. So Knitgrade has a Ravelry group and stuff like that. You can check it and browse it through and get more information if you want to. Oh, and because they're sending me things my way, they're also giving you guys 20% off for your first subscription. So if you're interested, you can grab it. I leave links down below. That's affiliate. So you're helping me out from perspective. They will be still sending me stuff, and they're sending a bit my way too. So thank you so much for a bit of support that way. I know not everyone is so into like acquisitions and stuff, and for me personally it's very stressful because on one hand I have certain budget, on the other hand I know so many people that they dye yarn, and it's just, it creates, I don't know how to explain this. If my budget was bigger, I would be like, well, okay, here and there. So I'm not really showing you stuff then that often because I don't buy stuff that often, I think, anyway. Obviously everyone has a different definition of how much yarn is too much yarn. So let's leave it and go with more. And then you can see day 2. I promised you to send you that Facebook link over there. I haven't edited it yet. Hopefully when it's there. If not, I'll put it down. Actually, our company name was called for X4SB, so if you bought anything from my little shop, you definitely got a kind of invoice that I'm sending you. By invoice, you know that you paid already. It's like a receipt, and you could have seen something like that. Now we applied for having the name, our surname, which is knittingILovepl, which is very easier to spell because explain someone, is it digit or is it small? It's just a nightmare. But we started like that because that's how our blog's name was 4x4SB, which I'm talking like 4x4 is like a Jeep because you used to have Jeep, and there was S because Sebastian and B because Barbara. And I was always saying it's a horrible name because I'm third in this whole idea. So yeah, so now we're knittingILovepl. So you could have noticed that, for instance, when you're getting stuff from my shop, you will get receipt. Just make sure that your email works because sometimes I get a bounce off that it doesn't work. So I make sure that the email you're giving me into the shop, it's working. And on between the one box and another one I forgot, I'm doing a test knit. I actually finished the sweater, which I'm not able to show you yet because the deadline is until 7th of February and it's 3rd now. And I know, a few test knitters may, finish later on. So I'm not sure where the pattern will be published. I caught it up, I just sneezed. So anyway, this design is beautiful. I'm not sure, there's no even a working name for it, so I'm not sure. But the designer's name is Becky Soprano Knits, so I maybe put a link down below, so follow her and check her designs. And especially this one, because I knitted it. No pressure. Right, during the knitting it, I've discovered tubular cat bind off, and while I was doing it I was getting really annoyed because it's like there's actually 7 stages, but 5 of them include that you're pulling the whole yarn through, and if you're doing bottom of the sweater it's a loads of yarn. So I figure out what I'm going to do just to minimize, to do it less, basically. So I was just pulling 3 times, and I was thinking that I'd do this video for myself, maybe put it up there. Probably no one is going to watch it, but at least I won't be able to do the whole edge in one sitting because things need to be done around, and I will just go back to the video and I'm going to refresh information, and yeah, I didn't have to go. I actually remember it, so it's pretty cool. And then I got to the point that I had to join those 2 things together, and the video that I watched, I think, was Pink Knits. She didn't show how to do it, although she was working on this kind of just small square thing, so flat, working flat, and I'm in the round, and I figure out I'm going to post another one. So this one over here when I was finishing my sleeve, and I'm actually doing that on my this video. So I'm so happy I finished, and it's a really good finish. Looks really professional. Yeah, it's kind of, you know, we just need to, like for that body, I needed an hour something to do it, and it was just that pulling this thing here and there. Anyway, but you pay the price for a beautiful garment, but then I will enjoy it for like the rest of my life. And now that's why I have this here. Oh, it fell. This here before. I showed you this before. This is my sweater. It's Key's sweater, and you see the beauty of me knitting stuff. I normally go by, oh, this is nice. Oh, I like this gauge because I do the same one. I don't have to look for it. And I come up with the patterns. I've knitted so far patterns that I don't remember names because they are so difficult for me. Or designers' names. So the designer name over here on the screen and Keys, I'll do it. And I know to type in T or I am when I'm looking for her on Instagram when I'm tagging her. So yeah, I think I'm spelling it right. So this is the beautiful, and this was my swatch for my test knit. When I finished this, I decided that this year, I didn't include it as a goals, but I decided that I'm going to help out someone too, because I got so much help in regards to my test knits, and I love my test knits so much. I've told you probably already that my test knits, you know, go into Instagram, we have a group, and we chit chat. I always ask people to, you know, wait for me to send you an email with a draft, and but meanwhile, you know, introduce yourself, you know, and say whatever you want to say about yourself, and keep as much as you want for yourself. Then you can share yarn, then, you know, everything, and you have to be very strict. You have to be a teacher. So once you get my draft, don't presume things, just say them out loud. No one is going to be mad. I want my patterns to be as beginner friendly as much as they can. That's my goal anyway. So in this case, to do this test knit was a big challenge, because I said to myself, I'm going to help someone, and I got an email because I subscribed to Becky's newsletter, and I got an email test knit, and I was like, oh, I'm doing a test knit, and then I opened it, was a sweater. I'm like, oh, sugar. A sweater. And then, you know, I saw what it looked like. I was like, oh, that's beautiful, that's probably lace. And I said, okay, I'll do it. I have, you know, already sweater finished, so I have that my swatch. And then I got an email, and then it says it's a cable sweater, and I was like, oh no, I'm not so good in cables, because I still don't know the I'm going to show you what I'm reading now. So I start to kind of develop more the abbreviations part of the cables. You know, I did cables, but I'm doing it the way I feel it. I'm not following something, so that's that. So I was like, oh, that's going to be interesting. And then Becky said, to knit this sweater, you need 3 swatches, and that was challenging. But I thought, okay, no, I said it, and well, Becky showed up with her pattern, and well, don't go the easier way, probably it's something you need to do. So I do it, and then she said that the deadline is by the 7th of February, and I think we got an email around, like, I'm just checking, we got an email on the 4th of January saying that she's looking for test knitters. That was on the 4th, and then you had to fill in like a Google form, and then we were waiting for a while until we got the next one who was picked. And I'm not sure when was that sent, but that was like maybe, I'm guessing 11th. And I was like, ooh, that's tight. And then we have to do swatches, and we have to, you know, and it has to be swatched in the round. So if you know how that swatch looks, it's not that you're working flat, you have to work one way and then you have to pull the yarn and you work another way. So I'm going, no, I can't show you the swatch because there's a pattern in it. So my sweater, so this sweater was my stockinette stitch swatch, and I did another one which kind of combined two others. So I had to do ribbing and get a certain gauge, and I had to do a pattern, and I got a certain gauge. I was spot on for the stitches but not for the rounds. The pattern calls, I think, I'm guessing now, you know, I put it on the screen. I put it on the screen because it's been, yeah, you know, so put it on the screen that this is what the pattern calls for, you know, the pattern calls for different gauges for different swatches. So two main ones on the screen, and my row gauge was different. So when your row gauge is different, you have to just be aware about the length of the yoke. So you have a pattern, but I follow it the way it was. I didn't change anything. I decided once I finished, because it's top down, I will just, you know, put it on and see, will I be able to grab it under my armpits? If not, I will just do a stockinette, because the pattern would let you do that at that point. So anyway, I didn't have to. I actually follow it and kind of get a bounce. I haven't washed it yet. I blocked it, so basically soak it for a while and get the fabric to relax. So that probably will give me a little bit more, but I feel okay now when I'm wearing anyway, so it could stay the way it is. And then for ribbing, that's quite interesting, and we got that, and I think I was able to start. And Becky does her testnet on Slack, which is a new app, so I had to download new app, register to new things, which wasn't really a fun thing. And Slack is a kind of an app, something like you would create a group on Instagram, but in the group of Instagram, when you comment, everyone can see it. If you post a photo, everyone can see that photo. With the Slack, yes, you put a photo, everyone can see it, but someone can literally reply to your own photo, and then others don't see it. So you have to go to that and see if there is a reply for that photo to kind of keep track on everything. Yeah, now I stick to my Instagram, but it's a good thing to kind of, you know, be pushed to experience new things and new technical challenges. So yeah. So I really liked it, and I'm happy, you know, like I can't believe how happy I am that I'm, you know, I said it on the paper, because Becky sends like terms and conditions, and that I will, you know, I promised I will finish on time, and I'm actually managed to do it. I'm so happy. So yeah, today after this I'm going to soak it in the bath and wait for my stories on Instagram. I'm not sure where I'm going to post this thing, but hopefully soon. So anyway, let's move on to things that are on my chest, on my needles. So I finished that one. I can't show you anything more. So what else I have on my needles? I told you about the knit crate yarn, this beauty, and I wanted to knit a hat for someone, but then I got information that that person doesn't want any gifts. Anyway, let's leave it like that. So I started it, and I will knit a hat, and I will definitely find a hat to fit into it, or maybe that person changed mind. I'm not sure. It wasn't a personal thing, it's overall. Person didn't want to get anything for anyone. So as you can see, this is how it looks like knitted up. I think it's nice. Don't you think? So what I want to do, I want to fold it, and this is worsted, so I don't think I've ever folded a worsted weight. I want to fold it, this is, as you see, basic 2x2, and I'm actually doing the purl one properly, so just to be proud of me, check it out. So do you see this? And you see this, normally on the wrong side with my knitting, because I cheat, you would see twisted stitches when I purl. So yeah, and then I want to do cables, because, you know, I stopped with this first, because otherwise, you know, I'll be just leaving you. So beautiful bag. This bag I got as a gift during the last or previous Christmas, so 2017, and I got loads of meanness in it, and I love it so much, so I'm using it. So you could see a yarn in a cake. Oh, so this is how it looks here, and this is how it looks in the cake. And I'm using needles and just on the screen, less editing for me, so you could see it. And now you can see all the information about yarn and the blend of it, and the whiskey is the color. So, and that's that. So I'm hoping to play like some cables and maybe put it as a pattern. Yay! So I can't wait. And what I'm doing, I showed you that before, I think, or on Instagram, I'm not sure, but I got this book for myself as a Christmas gift, which is a knitting patterns, and I want to read it all, because I'm a person that when I have books, and I got a few last year, if I get a book, I need to commit to it, then when I buy it, I actually read it. So if I have Lane magazine, I have only one, because I just knitted one pattern from it. And minimum, I want to knit 3 patterns from a magazine until I'm, buying another one. So I'm not collecting things, I just actually want to use it. Because otherwise, it may have overwhelmed me, and that's my preference. So, yeah. Anyway, so I'm reading it. If you have this book, I'm on the page 48. And it's a really, really good book. And I would say 80 to 90%, 90%, and so far 90% everything which she says I have in my patterns, and thanks to my amazing friend who didn't work as an editor, but she had an amazing job, and her things was about, correcting things. How amazing is that to meet someone like that? Awesome! I love meeting awesome people, and I know you are too, so let me know. So slowly, gradually, I'm getting a bit. There's definitely some stuff that, I could do a different way. I would really recommend people to, designers, to read this. Yeah. So anything in regards, I have one more thing because I told you about this. I'm going down everything down. Other things that I do, maybe skip to non-knitting content, is I'm doing my brain. And if you check that playlist about journal, I showed you something. Okay, that's a mess, but it's something that I can show you. It doesn't have any personal information over here, so I can show you something that I did. I'm not sure that I'm going to follow it. No, I'm going to show you my garden. So how to draw these things, you can check it on my videos, but you could see that I tried to use this because I'm getting information that people, they start but they don't finish. So I figure out the month section, and I treat every month like it was a year. So at the end, when I finish a month in certain area, I'll just kind of finish. So there's nothing to add, nothing to do from this. Unfortunately, see, I wasn't successful with digging stuff. Dig girl. Nothing done. That's about me having a garden. But, everyone can have dreams. We shall see. There's still 11 months to go. So, and I got myself a shovel. I should write down. I got myself a shovel. I have a tool. Should use it. But like I said, if you go through it, you would see that I have published patterns like this. A scooter that I'm using because I want to be more environmental friendly. Second of all, I don't want to be all the time in the box. Home is a box, your work is a box, your car is a box. So just be outside, and at least your brain will classify it. Even though I'm not walking, not running, I'm just standing on it because it's electrical. I just kind of get that gist. So it helps for my mental health, let's say it that way. Then I have accounting stuff that I have to do in regards, having online shop, having being a designer, and patterns and so on and so on. So I also this year try to come up that every month I finish all the paper things that needs to be done. So at the end of the day, at the end of the year, you're not like, ooh, what the taxes are going to be, ooh, and so on and so on. And I know I'm getting loads of questions in regards to that area. How do you publish patterns on Ravelry? How do you price them? But how do you also work in regards like taxes and stuff like that? So I'm not sure. It's like money is a taboo subject. Let me know down below. Would you be interested to have a video of that? Although I'm quite scared to put it out there because Taxes and stuff are not really the nicest things to talk about. Some people don't like them. Some people think that, you know, that's why we have a society and community. That's how we all, in every age, every aspect, every budget, you know, we can survive all together, helping ourselves a bit. That's what's the main thing about taxes, is not something that, you know, oh, it's a pain in the ass, we have to pay it. Because I know how to operate the Ravelry-ish, and I know how to record stuff that I'm doing on my desktop, so you can see it too. You could probably notice that what I was doing now. I could probably go and show you a few things. I'm going to show you anyway a few things about Ravelry in a sec, so I hope you're going to like that. Maybe I'll do a separate video if you think there is a need for it, but because I will not remember the number of this episode to refer to it if someone asks me to. And if I like my smallest videos in case someone asks me, oh, have you done a tubular bind off? And I was like, yeah, I did. I talked about it in one of my episodes, but I don't remember which one. So that's why I do my, you know, you can check playlists, and I have my tutorials how I do stuff. Obviously there's other ways to do. I may not have gone, you know, anything, you know the gist. So yeah, I was thinking about that if someone is interested, because I see so many talented people, and you would wonder why they're not there, like, but it is not so easy as would say. You know, you have to take into consideration the other behind the scene part too, not only putting patterns and then getting money. Yeah, there's more things need to be done in the concept of living in a certain country. So anyway, so I do stuff like that with the journal, and I still go hardcore with the one I got, with the 5-second journal, which you can get for free because Mel is doing that Mindset and Reset on her website. I'll put a link down below. You can download the free PDF file, and you can print one page and see how you like it. She doesn't sell that because they're all sold out. And she decided just to kind of help you out, or help me out to do it. I got this thing even before the whole thing, and I'm very happy with it. I probably would not have enough money to buy ink to print, and I think it came up cheaper. I think I got $24 for it, so something like that. But it gets expensive, I'm telling you that. And I'm still doing it, not every day, but the day that I want, I can kind of plan my day more, or energize myself, or write something good when I feel bad, and you know, kind of someone puts you down and say something, and so on and so on. So that's why this knitting is very good for me, at least. The next thing I wanted to talk about, maybe another knitting project. So as you may noticed, I didn't have a keychain, but I have a keychain. I have something new in my shop. This is the keychain that I have in my shop. Is socks, but there are others, and I got more colors. I'm going to show you at the end. So what I have over here, I have socks, and I treat my socks as a project, mindless project, but I've decided, kind of put a pressure on having a podcast, that showing all the time plain vanilla socks, it's maybe not the most interesting things. So I come up with a panel over here. See, so I'm doing it, but I was very busy with that test knit, short time. I told you, literally 14th to the 7th. I'm so proud of myself. So I got this, and this is again something special in regards to community, to be kind of connected together. I got a yarn from a de-stash. So again, you know, I got 5 balls from Kay from Baker Bears. She was de-stashing stuff, and I was thinking maybe I would de-stash a yarn too, because, you know, if someone would feel the same way I feel towards Kay and Dan, you know, like, oh my god, I'm watching them and I have something that they're owned and I can knit with it. So I promised myself, once I get it, because it was kind of still an expense, I'm going to use it. I'm going to use every ball. Maybe not all of it. I will knit socks, and I will have some leftovers. So I was thinking maybe to share that and put like a gift or a prize or anything like that. So I'm on my 4th pair, so I have still 1 more to go, which looks, no, that's not this one, that's the one that I got as a gift from my viewer Sarah. I hope Sarah's watching, but I know she kind of follows me on Instagram and she sent me some goodies. I'm sorry. So anyway, so this is something that I take as small. I probably could now go more with another one, and just to have like in the round, especially when it's dark. We were coming back from Connemara, and I was like, oh, I can't knit on anything because I have here twisted stitches, and I'm like, I have to look at them. So I didn't have a project, and I haven't started a project because I want to focus for the testnet, on the testnet for Becky. So over here, beautiful bag, and this bag was made by my friend. She's actually a fitness instructor at work that I work, and the place that I work, and she she makes bags, but for friends. She did what you call it, an Instagram, and I told even her she should be, you know, selling them maybe, but her heart and passion is towards, if you check her profile, in regards fitness. So I don't blame him. I'm so happy, and I actually got some late Christmas gift from her. I haven't taken any photos of it because because, you know, it's February. I think when I was sick for 2 days. That was Thursday, I think 24th January. I had to go to hospital, and I had a procedure, and I had to be off for 2 days. But during that time, she came into work and she gifted this thing to me, and I wasn't there. So look at this. This is so beautiful. So beautiful. So I'm going to use it because once the test is over, I can go back to my gift knitting, my pouches of gift knitting, that I can start knitting stuff for Christmas for people, for like, yeah, so I'm going to use it. And then the next one, you can't believe, check this out. I think I'm going to knit my first ever Christmas jumper. I don't even have a Christmas jumper, because every time, and it's, okay, Christmas jumper is something that I know is popular in Ireland. When I was a kid and teenager, something like that did not exist. So I'm not sure it doesn't exist now, because I've been living here for over 12 years. But if you're watching this and you're not from America, probably Canada or Ireland, there's something like a Christmas jumper exists. So basically, you pick a day, I think, and you wear that jumper. Well, you can wear it all December if you want to, but for instance, at our work, we pick a date so we don't have to wear our uniforms. We can wear our jumpers. Luckily, my uniform was red this year, and I completely, you know, so I put something around my neck. Yeah, and we normally support a charity during that time. So I'm hoping maybe next year I will knit a few hats so they can kind of do like a raffle or something at work. Finger crossed. Remind me in November, because I have to do it in November, not December. That'd be too late. So anyway, but I'm thinking to knit one, and I really, really want to. I didn't put it as a goal, but I think I would, yeah, would not mind. And yeah. Yeah, so thank you so much. This is unbelievable. Check this out. So closer look. Oh, and when she was once at my house, we designed a logo for her, and she is Easy Bike on Instagram. She doesn't sell it, but you can say how beautiful bag she made. Definitely made. Makes her smile. And we have some things here. And she got one of my hats, the one Mina's design. I don't remember the name, but definitely hats. Check it out. It's a green one with the lace work. So now I like to knit stuff for myself, for others, for using, you know, tools or yarns that I'm a person who would prefer to, like, you know, people ask you, would you eat a dinner or a cake, or would you be more into cheese than chocolate, you know, would you prefer more, something like that. So I would say the same story. If I had a yarn that I bought, and even though I liked it, and I got a yarn that I still like it, but I got it for someone else, I'm like, I'm going with this because I know it put more meaning to someone else seeing it. And I hope, like, for instance, you know, people that I use their yarn are so happy to, you know. Well, on the other hand, you would feel, oh my God, I use just their stuff. But I hope they have also, you know, that you're not giving, that you're giving me your excess. I want to use a word that, you know, you have more, and if you give things to someone, you don't feel that you're losing something, that you still have plenty, and you can knit with whatever you have to. That's what I'm saying. Because there's a topic in regards to podcasts, they're getting stuff too, and I don't think I'm getting that much, and I'm not putting any pressure on anyone to give me anything. It's nice to say thank you like that, so yeah. Like I said, If you want to make me smile, just grab any of my patterns, free paid for patterns, and just knit with it and tag me and let me know, and that will just be my day too. So yeah, that's another one on my needle, so I can just grab and kind of chill out. The next thing that I do is this lovely book. That's a YouTuber, people. A Polish YouTuber that I knitted a hat, and I hopefully she got it, and I sent it to her, so I'm kind of a big fan. I know, that's a little bit worrying. And I got her book, which is about English. And my English, as you see, and you tell me also, it's quite good. But, you know, there's always a space for something to learn more. And it was so fun when I got this, actually 2 books, and I got this, oh my god, that'd be really cool, I'll get it, and it'll be just spot on, and I won't make any mistake, and you know, after each exercise I'll just pat my bag, be like, yeah, you have it. And the beginnings are so interesting, because you know, when you have in English singular and plural words, you know, how often do you use word like cacti? You know, I don't even know. I need to look it up. Anyway, you know those stuff, so you probably don't want to hear me about it, but it's quite exciting and fun. And she takes, if you learn any second language, she takes sentences from songs, she takes sentences from other series, or like, you know, movies, and every chapter finished with friends. You know, you probably know who friends are. If you're my age or older, and kind of puts an impact to it, and I really like it. I really recommend it. So if you know any person who's Polish and their struggle with English, and you would want to kind of gift them something, this is so much fun. It has bad words. Let's say it has sentences used every day by adults. And so this book is not a school book. I wish I could showed you more, but basically it's a really interesting topic with my colleagues, and I normally ask them, you know, this is for instance the sentence that I was practicing, and they were like, really? I was like, yeah. So anyway, so much fun. Thank you so much again. She's not watching now, and if she was, probably would be like, you said this. You said this. Her channel is about a pronunciation, certain words that are different pronunciation in English than in American. Americans have different even grammar, and she points it out over here, but she is very specific that you do not allow to use that in your exam because you'll fail. Especially, I think it was present perfect, I think. So, right, what more? Those 2, and a sweater. And then, or maybe I skip it now. So during my vlogs, you have noticed I was wearing this, and at some point I tried to tell you something, but the wind was so strong and I didn't catch the gist. So basically, this is my full of minis hat. You need at least 24 minimum, 24 5-gram minis to do it, because it's for advent calendar. So you can do every day in December, you know. And you end up with 2 that you can kind of put over here with the leftovers, but just bear in mind, depends, you do picking up stitches, you know, check your body that it doesn't go straight away. Like, I actually have one more thing in progress, this one, and you see how it looks. No, not the same, because I didn't follow my pattern. I just thought I know better. Anyway, so I need to fix it, I need to frog it and stuff, so I'll have time now, and I can't wait it because the hat is just amazing. And with the idea that we'll be going hiking or areas more often, this is so good. And what I wanted to say, during the time when we were hiking, there was wind, there was snow, we had rain and everything like that, and my jacket had a hoodie, but it was falling off, and I just said, whatever, I'll just leave with this, hopefully it will manage, and it managed so well. And I just want to show you, if you're watching, 2 hats. Okay, this is a fingering weight hat, but you're creating small things like these that you pick up in the back. You see them? Yeah, so that's quite thick when you hold this. So I won't be able to wear it in Ireland all the time because it's not so cold. And you could see this one, and it's also wool, and you could see beautiful stitch definition over here. But unfortunately, when I stretch it, you see those holes. You could probably see my hand, not so great, but you could still see it. So when the wind blows, even though it's warm, it touches your head. So I would say it's like a wetsuit. Wetsuit keeps you warm only if it's wet and you're in the water. This will keeps you warm if it's wet, if it's cold, but when it's windy, not really, you know. And I was so surprised with this, and I believe accidentally it has something to do with do we have any physics over here? You know, with the construction. So I thought this is a brilliant idea. My mom wants this one hat, and she said even she will take this. But normally I don't afford this things, but I will because it's like my tradition. That was 2017. This is 2018. I have to finish, and the yarn is done. Some of it is done by my friend. She dyed it. She's not in dyer. She just knits. She designs patterns. I know some of those minis she used during the year, so it's just, you know, special, amazing. So I'm not letting it go. But I have some minis that I can pop it in there and knit a hat for my mom. And I'm telling you, their podcasts are doing KALs. I also have KALs. Probably I should go back to now, chit-chatting. Anyway, in regards everything that I say, I may not put links down below. I'll definitely put a link to my project page on Ravelry. To see that, you don't have to, now you don't have to have an account on Ravelry. I figured it out. So if you go on my website and you see FOS, when you click on it, you will see my project page. Not sure would you be able to click on it, so let's see it. If it says yes, and if you see you go into it, it's fine, but I don't think so. You would have to be a Ravelry member. It's for free. It's just, you know, you have to register, you know, you have to fill the form. But yeah, but something so interesting to do. So I'm going to put links to my project page and to my, you know, design, so you will have a gist. And over there, I try to do that way. Someone asked me, do I do stuff like that in my journal? Last year I did, and it filled half of it. And the most painful stuff is that I don't carry that journal with me anymore because I have a new one. And with Ravelry, you can carry it all the time, and not only other people can see it, because this is, you know, the journal is like private stuff. You would not flip through it if you find one. And you see my projects, it's nothing personal per se. You can go and check it out. So if you're interested in what kind of yarn I use and stuff like that, you can check it out. Under each project, I think most of them, they have a link to my finished object video. So you can go to Ravelry and then, you know, you see something, you go there, there's a link, you click. If there's no link, let me know, because I want to update that too. So anyway, maybe on the screen to show you what I did to have my patterns publicly available, because most of your patterns that if you open your account on Ravelry, people can see it unless they're you don't have even a separate link to your project page. So what I did, when you go to your project, so obviously let's see over here, you see on the screen this kind of little thing, and you click on it. And then what you can do, in this case, you see it's public, so it's open, but I can change that. So on the screen, I'm changing it to like, don't share or anything like that. There's few options. And then you see it's not, and then I can go back and change it. So just, I think that small thing you can do, and that way when you copy the URL, so this thing that you have over here, if you copy that and you send a link to your friend by email, or even on your private message on Facebook, Instagram, or even if you want to share my projects that I did, because I have it publicly available, you can do that. So yeah, that's the news in regard to Ravelry, but there was another one. Oh, another one I did, I sort out my projects. So if you check now the screen, you could see that I have not only the full thing that I was doing, and it's sorted by the, you know, the newest to the oldest, and you can go and see this, which I kind of copied from Ellie from Skin Deer Knits. I think she called body, I think I said garments, so you can see how many garments I knitted, how many hats I knitted, socks, so everything now on the screen you could see it there. And to do that, what you need to do, you need to, in the project that you're creating, there's a tag tag section. So you add a tag over that. But unfortunately, that's not all you need to do. That's when you have certain things in place. But then will show up in those tabs. To create those tabs, you have to go to organize. I think that's the word. So you can see it on the screen over here. You click on it and you could see a little bit, you can see all the things. And it took me a few minutes to figure out what it does, because I had some tags, but I didn't know what they were for, and I was just randomly writing them. So basically I had to go to each project, delete all those tags, see what happens, and then create a file like you see on the left over here. When you have those there, and it asks you, do you want to include the project into that file? So let's say tab from other tags. So yeah, so that's where you do it. Maybe I'll do a different video if that's not clear enough. So let me know what you think about it. But I think that Ravelry, it's quite an interesting and such a useful tool. I don't use it for my stash, but that's completely different world out there if you want to add your yarn. And then apparently Ravelry helps you to tell you, do you have enough yardage of that yarn for this project that you're looking through. I don't know how to, how to do that. I don't have that much yarn anyway. You may think I have a lot. For Muggle, for a person who's not a fiber friend, may think that I have a lot, but if you watch other fiber people, you will see other people have even more. So it's not how much you have, it's just how much you can knit with it. If you have a loads and you can knit a loads, brilliant. But if your stash kind of overwhelms you, I would say do de-stash and have fun if someone can knit stuff with your yarn. And that goes to another project that I was going to talk about, which is in this bag. And in this bag we have White Horse Sweater. I'm telling you, I'm putting a link to my project page because it's just one URL that I have to copy. So the link, URL is a fancier word for saying it. Then you can see it there. I think you can. I need to create a project. I don't think I started it. That's the bad habits I have. Once I do a finished object video, I go there and I put it there, but I don't do with whips. I started with my hat, and I think the only whip I have is the hat, a toy, and I don't know. But this is the wrong side, because you knit it on the wrong side. Well, you knit on the right side, but then you flip it when you do body and sleeves. So I was knitting on it from time to time because I was knitting another sweater, and I have done that much of a sleeve. The pattern itself tells you to do a shorter sleeves, but I'm following Amazing Lady on Instagram, and she finished hers, and she said she added the length. And because this yarn that I have, I got from a friend, from a de-stash, so beautiful. It's a fingering weight yarn, although the pattern is for DK, but I hold the yarn. Yeah, I hoard the yarn, but I hold it double. I know it's a mess because so far I used four. So I have another 3 because I got 7. So I know I have enough, and I was just so in love with it and I just couldn't resist. I saw this pattern first on Kate's channel, and Kate is number 23. She hasn't podcast for so long, I forgot her name, podcast name. Yeah, number 23. Is there something there? Anyway, let's move on. You know who I'm talking about. She's now a mother and she's quite busy. Check her Instagram. If you love kids, you will have a blast watching her, sweetie. She's so cute. So that's that. So I'm going to finish it this month. I'm going to wear it this month. And this is, I hope, also creates an amazing feeling for my friend, because she said she would not be able to knit with this yarn, and at least she could see that this yarn is loved, knitted, and is going to be worn. It makes me warm. Although this is quite an interesting yarn. This is something extra in the fiber world. It's a blend of the yarn that you're using. So I like to knit with everything. And I started, as I told you at the beginning of this episode, that I started with acrylic, like everyone in the area I lived would know of. And now starting podcasting, so that was a few years ago, I discovered there's the different things that you can knit with, that our clothes, even if you're not a knitter, are made of. And people don't look inside the labels and they don't check. And sometimes you could notice then that some shops, you know, they're overpriced, like acrylic things, just because the brand is famous, but the quality is poor. You know, from perspective that some fibers, it's cheaper to produce some fibers than others, and either though, you know, putting anything outside about the friendly to environment, or you know how the animals were treated, just put on the side, just the pure cost, pure money, and one is cheaper, one is more expensive, and they still put so much. Yeah, anyway, I'm going into a different direction. So this is America, but the interesting part is the blend. So this is kind of thing that I'm having fun. So on the screen, hopefully that I need to stand up to see. So here on the screen you could see the blend. Do you see it? That I have more stuff than just one. Yeah, so it's super fine alpaca 25%, 55% merino wool, and 20% viscose. I still haven't checked what the viscose is, but apparently something with bamboo related. So why wouldn't it be named bamboo? I know it's cotton. Bamboo, I don't know, check it out. I don't know everything. So if you do, let me know down below. Because I say I check, but you know, it has to click that I have to. So it's amazing. It feels unbelievable. It's not like a cotton, because you feel that wool, but it has kind of bounce. It's like a chewing gum. No, you know, springy, you know, it's kind of bouncy. Kind of, you feel that the fiber work. I don't know the word for it, so you need to, yeah. So over here, and I discovered that I can put things on hold and use my pouches. So I was talking about my little shop, so something like that I sell there. Can't wait to wear it. I love it so much. And where you can get yarn from D-Stash, you can go on Ravelry, there's D-Stash groups. You can go on Etsy, apparently, you can buy it from eBay. You can even chat with everyone. If you're looking for a sweater quantity, maybe someone will tell someone else, and that person was like, you know, I may know a person who's looking for yarn like that. I believe there are groups on Ravelry that you can go and check a D-Stash as an option for you, and someone local can also sell, so you don't have to even pay for shipping. You can probably collect it. So worth it. I have an extra bit that I'm, you know, this yarn would just lay in the, you know, on the shelf, and I'm so happy. It makes me so happy. But it's like also a vintage things that you buy in antique shops, you know, it's like antique yarn. It was in someone's places for a while, you know, gathered the energy, and now it was sent to me, and I can work on it and feel that energy, because everyone is good, have a heart, hopefully wants to be a good human being. And I know the yarn that I got is the most amazing person, and it's kind of having a bit of her here. Yeah, I know. Woo! Who likes grey? I love grey. Lately grey and brown. So, right. Okay, KALs. We're talking about Ravelry. The next thing about Ravelry is the groups that are there. Not only you can use Ravelry as your account and put the projects there, so you can have nicely put them every, like if you put a name of the yarn, people can actually click on that yarn if they don't have a clue what it is, and it moves them to a yarn page, so you can read more about the yarn. So if I'm knitting something, I don't have to explain stuff about yarn. I don't have to write down even the blend of it, because I know the Ravelry is so good. I know apparently I don't pronounce it the way I should. Direct you there. You probably know I'm just saying obvious stuff. Over there, we have also a Knitting I Love group, and you can go and browse it through. Maybe I go show you a sneak peek what the threads I have over there. So if you find something interesting, like knitting, knit a hat cal, or knitting, crocheting, make along, anything with anything counts. I basically want to see your projects because you knit things that you like, and maybe I will like it too, who knows, or I will have more time to knit them because they are amazing. It's just time is a limitation that not everyone, how we call it, not everyone have access to. Depends on the circumstances. I hope I'm saying it right. Anyway, so yeah, it can inspire, and even if you browse through it, you know, you could see that someone, oh, I saw lately my Full of Minis hat on a kid, and it looks so cute. You can check the hashtag Full of Minis hat on Instagram. Remember, any patterns you knit from my designs, free, paid for patterns, we don't have to pay anything. You can just post it twice with hats. Knitting, crocheting, make along, because that's for everything. And the hats, I'm just, yeah, I had a thing for hats. I think this year will be for sweaters. I don't know, I'm not promising anything, but I feel like there is quite a big topic going around on Instagram, or was, depends when you're watching it. Although with friends, that's what I like about English. In Poland, always you know, if I had to translate that, it's like I have friends. I think in English you can say that too, but there's also another one, I'm making a friends. And you know, making is like making a cake. It means you need to put work into it. And so if you're a kid and you don't have friends, it's not only to wait until they will be delivered, you have to make them. By making them, you have to put an effort, and that other person has to put an effort too. And even though if you're putting an effort and someone is not, just find a different person. There's plenty out there. And that's why, for instance, this channel, not everyone is watching me. Not everyone thinks this is an interesting episodes on interesting podcasts that I'm doing, or I've been doing, that I'm showing stuff. Maybe I don't have so much information that should be there, and so on and so on. I'm getting those information, I'm getting those comments, but I'm not focusing on it. Just I try to think that just people are searching for different things, and I'm not that thing, but that not means at the same time that I'm bad or worse than others. There's one thing at the end before completely I finish but it touched me so much in regards to Instagram. During this whole thing, Seb got us some like daily calendar, and it has different things. It's like rules or suggestions, or, you know, not all happy stuff. Like, for instance, just make sure you have 3 business cards in your wallet, or today take something that has Mickey Mouse on it, or never open someone else's mail. And in one of those things, it said, if I find it, I put it on the screen. I think it said that if you have a scar, be proud of it, because that says that you fought, fight, and you survived. And just to be aware that this sentence doesn't tell that you won, but you gain experience. And I know probably everyone would want that experience to be a positive one, but you know, life doesn't brings all the time flowers and chocolate and everything like that. So they're for a reason, and hopefully we can gain knowledge from them, maybe find solution for stopping that pain, working on it. And even though we went through stuff, try not to get our, I don't have children, but we would say children over here, or next generation, to go through it, those not positive things. So can we do anything not to harm them the way we were harmed? Okay, thank you for hearing me out, and if you were listening, even better, because that makes us think. And things happening out there that sometimes we personally can be involved with, but maybe to look in the smaller local things. How can we improve things? It's something we can focus on. Does it make sense? I said I'm going to talk about shops, but I noticed things that I have a few people that I watched, and I've been watching them for a while. Well, I have been watching Seta for a while. Seta, I think that's what's her name. And there's a lady that she actually found me, and she bought my podcast, and I want to give her a shout out. I think she won one of my giveaways, and I was telling you all the time that I'm kind of more French seeking person. So if seeking, I hope I didn't say that word. So basically I try to get in touch with them. They're on Instagram. When I'm packing things, I take photos. So, you know, it's kind of, I know I'm kind of ruining the surprise, but I'm showing you prizes anyway. So I don't think it's, ruining anything. So that way we were chit-chatting, and then she said she has a podcast. So if you do too have a podcast, you can always tell me, and I'll try to do my best to watch it on the 2 speed. And Seta's is a quite interesting one. It's slightly different than normal podcast. I mean, like a channel, YouTube channel. So basically my YouTube channel is different than podcast channel, because podcast channel will be just podcasts. Every day is a podcast. You have a mixture of tutorials, my vlogs, my finished objects, because I like to have them sorted. Yeah. So in Seta's, she also has some interesting stuff. So for instance, I'm a tea drinker. I love teas, and she started to drink teas and telling how she finds them, and she shows cups and stuff. But not only those videos, you can have her one with the map. She's a crocheter, and yeah, so check her out. I'm going to put a link down below. And she's called Seta's Place. So as I said, I told you about my crochet thing at the beginning. Learning is repetition. Yeah, so I'm kind of eager, and by watching someone, it's kind of inspires, and yeah, it's clicking. That's kind of what I'm afraid of. So anyway, that's one person that I would recommend you to watch. Like I said, I've been watching her for a while. Then another one is just that it popped up on Instagram, which is the Drunk Knitter podcast. Her Instagram is just Drunk Knitter. Everyone is talking about her, so say, you know what, I'm checking her out. And she is hilarious. You see, the drunk alcohol is not something that I would be like, eager. I have a negative background in regards to that, not personally, but not that I was drinking or anything like that. It's just what alcohol does with people when they overdose. You can come up with different outcomes, let's say it that way. And if you're around that area when the outcome is you may not feel safe, which is not good, and that anyway. So yeah, so anyway, I watch her. She is funny. I loved her episode about she was pulling and putting on sweaters. That's a must to watch. She made me laugh so hard, and because I think if you start knitting sweaters, we always had that learning curve and learning about fabrics, that that cotton stretches, or your body kind of gets bigger, things go smaller. Yeah, anyway, so yeah, watch her if you want cheer you up. That's the one for you. And someone else kind of got in touch with me. That person is watching me all the time, and his name is Landon, and I hope I'm saying it right. Landon. And he's watching me for a while. His podcast is A Trans Guy Who Likes to Knit. And the first episode is he's wearing my hat and a tag from my shop, and I think my sock pattern. That makes me happy. Yeah, so if you knitted anything, or you even have a podcast and you mention me, or oh my god, you just let me know. I love it. So yeah, check him out. I think he has 3, 4, I watched them all, episodes. And yeah, shawls, hats, socks. He has his own, he's dyeing yarn, and there's a KAL about sweaters, but I joined the group, but it's just a first time sweater, and I don't have a first time sweater. I think I understand Rose right. So if you're knitting a first time sweater, you can definitely join him. Anything else? I think that's all in regards to this topic. So let's move on to my shop. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time or in my next video. Bye. And for you all who stayed, I'm going to show you new things in the shop. And it's in the shop. My shop is open. It was closed for a bit because there was an update going on, and my cashier, oh, now I'm going to talk IT words. So do you want to hear that? Closed it for a bit to sort this thing out, and I think I have it sorted. And what was causing that, for instance, people could only put one item. Well, you can have 5 quantities, but one item into my shop, my cart, and they couldn't buy any more. So I decided, you know, instead of having people disappointed, I just closed it for a while. I would do proper update, like basically it's open. So yeah, so what do we have there? So we have new keychains. First new keychains, well, they're all keychains. I show you the socks one, but on the screen you can see we have hats, but what I added, it's more colors, because I got a few informations from my friends that they have so many whips that, you know, having only 3 is not enough. So I built up a bigger options for you. So it's hats, mittens, sweaters, shawls, and no, wait, okay, I see it now. There's my wall, shop wall. So we have sweaters, hats, socks, shawl, and mittens. And then you have 8 colors of each. I know, amazing. And then I come up with a new keychain, and I don't have a video about it, so I need to bring it over, but I especially did that because I was doing that test knit. And I was thinking, should I create a keychain saying test knit? And I thought, that's just one thing. Can we come up with something that will be for test knit, for designers like I am? I have my, not a test knit, but I'm designing something, and it is top secret. This is a keychain. Stop. So that means don't look. So we have 5 colors. We have berry, lavender, cafe chocolate, green, and grey. And if you're asking, because people sometimes let me wonder, I created my pouches at the beginning of my episodes when I felt that I don't have a budget to being a podcaster who sends yarn, because it's quite expensive, and I wanted to send something that will be light in regards, you know, shipping. And I created my pouches, and I'm talking about them, I'm not showing them. Okay, I was using this one for a sweater. So you see, they're flat, they're light, and they are made of felted polyester, just to let you know. So here how it looks. I think this one I've been using for a year now. So it's well done. It's machine done, so you see the stitches. If you have your ones, you may notice there, as you can see, they may be slightly off. It's not so easy to sew it. I don't sew it. I found a small company that does it. There's a laser cut designed. I'm putting a design. Previously I was putting design, and there was a lady that was helping me up to spice things up a bit. And now my designs will be just mine. So I'll be coming up with a new, maybe not collection, but you'll see it. I'll talk about it more. Like my handwriting will be on it. Just saying. So you will have a piece of me in them in the future, but more for the journaling, because I need 2, and I designed 2 that speaks to my soul. So anyway, so like I said, new thing is the keychains. There was a sale for my bags, my tote bags, and there was a sale for 2018 tags. So I would say just have a glimpse, do me a favor, go there, have a glimpse. You don't have to buy anything. Okay, I think that's all in regards everything. I hope you enjoyed this one. Please let me know, what did you like the most? Yeah, it's kind of like sad to go, but I need to go edit this, and it's pretty long, I can bet you. So I hope you enjoyed this one. See you in my next video. I can't wait to see you in person in the future. I hope something like that will be able to. Meanwhile, you can find me over here or on social media as knittingILove, and timestamps, links, and I can't wait to hear something from you. Bye!